what we're all about. So with North American, I've been with North American now going on 11 years, and I started helping Andy with the life insurance more in depth about 4 years ago. We went through like 4 stages: mortgage protection, and then we did back nine, which we still have. We're big fans of it. It's like a mini FMO where you can have a ton of carriers, fully underwritten, simplified issue, whatever. But this year, what we're really and then last year we really put a focus on just simplified issue life insurance, direct with the carrier or through back nine, whether it's Mutual of Omaha, whether it's America, whether it's Gerber, it doesn't matter. And the difference is, whether you got a simplified issue, there is no underwriting, there's no blood, urine exams, any of that. It's just a series of questions. It's all instant decision. It's all electronic application. There's so many advantages of it. By the time you're done with the application, you know if the person qualifies or not, versus going through 9, 10, 11 weeks of fully underwritten policy and finding out that less than half of the fully underwritten policies that we submit ever get issued. That's a statistic. So there's a lot of advantages to simplified issue. In addition to, if you're in the the life insurance program, we can get you on advance. We can get you street level commission. So there's so many different ways. I'm selling the highlights. We'll get into a little more stuff. It's a year-round product. It's not like ACA or Medicare where people spend just a big bulk of their time on the selling seasons every year. With life insurance, it's year-round. It's what we say, cradle to the grave. I mean, it doesn't matter a person's age, health condition. None of that stuff. We have something that qualifies no matter what the age, what the health, what the budget. And that's the great thing about it. People are looking for return of premium. If they're looking for a continuation, if they're looking for final expense, if they're looking for IULs, we have all that stuff in simplified issue. But what I wanted, and again, guys, if anybody has any questions, jump in. If anybody has to add anything, what I wanted to concentrate on, what we want to concentrate on this year is final expense, simplified issue, but with an emphasis on final expense. Reason being, whether you're in Medicare or not, there's, and it's a big encouragement. I mean, two things I like doing the best is Medicare and final expense. One goes with the other, regardless of which one comes first. Everybody needs those two things once you get on Medicare. Medicare is your health insurance the rest of your life, and final expense is going to be, how you want your life to end on your terms, and that's where we come in to provide people with that, whether they want 5,000 or whether they want 50,000 or whether they want more than that. We have carriers and products to take care of all that. And so with that being said, if you're new to North American, and if you're new to this call, then I would encourage you guys, when I give you my information at the end, to reach out, because I can tell you, we can go into all that now, or else I can spend that on a couple other more important things. But there's certain carriers that we really encourage you to get appointed by. It gives you a ton of options as far as life insurance products. Not only simplified issue, but also underwritten depending on the size of the case and the situation. If people just want enough for final expense, we have that. If they want a type of policy that builds cash value, we have that. If they want to take it on, I have a lot of my clients that take it on their parents or their kids, because the parents don't have money to pay for it, the kids don't have money to pay for it. So there's all kinds of different scenarios where we can offer this type of insurance. So anybody, and then another thing we want to do when we, as this call goes on every 2 weeks, is hopefully from week to week or call to call, you'll have some good news or cases to share. When we were doing this before, we used to talk a little bit about current cases, and then I would have people call me if they needed help with quotes and so on. I can do that for all you guys. So I guess we would start there. I mean, does anybody currently have any cases working, any quotes out, anything in underwriting, anything that questions on before I get in I'm going to talk a little bit about final expense, and then I'm going to talk about one particular product, which I got a quote out right now for, and it's a very, very good advantage. So I see Wanda on, I see James on, I see a bunch of people on. Does anybody have any current life cases they're working and they want to share with the group?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is James.
Hey,
Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I'm pretty familiar with Back9 and how it works, and I'm actually very excited about it. Is there anything about, and it's progressing, I know, as many things are in this digital age we're living. Is there
yes.
anything, any updates in the Back9 um, that you'd like to share as far that's for people who are really interested in using it, like me?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. So, and that's kind of like a good way to go into this. It's a good icebreaker because Back9 has a great relationship with North America. We had for like 3 years. I'm going to tell you our main contact person. He's absolutely awesome. I'm going to have him on as a future guest more than once. He was at our conference last year. He'll be there again this year. His name's Todd Marquade. You guys want to write this down? I'll get to it in a minute, but his information. But Back9, it's a mini FMO, or it is an FMO, and with North American. And what's the difference? Well, they have an umbrella of a ton of different carriers. What at Simplified Issue, fully unwritten, they got Mutual of Omaha, they got Americo, they got Pacific, North American, anybody you can think of, pretty much they have under that umbrella. Now, one of the big advantages to have something like that is if you don't want to have all your contracts direct with carriers, whether it's Mutual, Americo, which they don't have Americo, by the way, but Mutual, Gerber, or whoever else, then yeah, go with Back9. They got a system on there. It's called Quote and Apply, which they make more user agent friendly every single year. You can go on there, you can put in the person's information, and it'll give you several different carriers that would kind of fit the criteria of what you're looking for. And the neat thing about that is whether it is simplified issue or whether it's fully underwritten, it'll give you the best deals. And some of them may be underwritten, but based on a person's health, that might just be simplified issue. So I'm glad James brought that up because Back9 gives us so many different opportunities under one roof. And we have good carrier reps with these other places too. But Todd Marquade, he is just unbelievable. So whether you call him, which I'll give his information, or email him, he can not only train you and help you with the Back9 site with anything you need, but we'll have him on here in the future and he can walk us through there as well. So the way I use Back9, I do have some of my contracts direct, like Mutual of Omaha, for instance, and Gerber and Americo. So when I write with them, I go on their site, and if I write one of their policies, they pay me. But if you want to go with Back9, then everything's under one roof. And if a person decides they want more than the carrier offers, like let's say they want a $500,000 policy, or if it's I don't know, a 58-year-old man and he wants $300,000, those are that's when Back9 really comes in handy because some of the simplified issue go up to 450,000, but once you hit a certain age, then they become very, very costly. And the reason being, they don't do a full dive into the underwriting like the fully underwritten, so they're taking more risk. So if you have someone, for me, simplified issue, I normally about, even if it's not a final expense, I'd probably go up to 40, mid 40s, even if I max it out at 450,000. And I can usually sell that on the fact that there's no exams, it's simplified issue, things like that, even if the premium's a little bit more. But when you start getting past the mid 40s and on up, especially in the bigger face value policies, yeah, then it becomes pretty costly. So at that point, depending on the person's health, you have to make a decision. because fully underwritten, you got to have patience, you and the client. You can tell them, hey, based on your health, I can get you preferred, I can get you standard, I can get you whatever. But they're going to do a deep dive into your background, to your medical history, to your pharmaceutical history. And it will with back nine. I think right now it is taking anywhere from 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks in some cases to get an answer. Now, the good news is at the end of it, if they get a yes, you're approved, then yeah, everything's good to go and they save money. But at the end, if they don't get that, then you got to kind of start over and it's that much further. But back nine definitely has its place. There's no doubt about it. Go ahead, James.
Oh, thanks. I wanted to just confirm my understanding with you and what you think as far as that particular scenario with somebody who's older, doesn't have coverage, going to pay more for simplified issues, so it's well worth being patient and going through underwriting. However, there is a risk of something being caught in underwriting where they can't get coverage. So isn't it best to just go ahead, prepare them for that, pay more for a year while we go through underwriting, and then you're guaranteed coverage?
You know what? That is a great way to look at it. I'm glad you brought that up because whenever you guys bring up questions like that, because there's so much that I've experienced, and what James just said, it's so true. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. So let's say you do go through back nine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Great, it's great to do that. However, let's say at the very end the person does get turned down. At that point, you got to remember it's in the process. It's went through the underwriting, and it'll show up in the future if they try to get another policy. And let's say they ask the question, "Have you been turned down recently for life insurance?" You would have to put yes. Whereas if you flip that to like America, for instance, their instant decision is different than even mutual of Omaha. I'll tell you the difference there. Um, so with Americo, their instant decision is by the time you get to the health questions, if I'm talking to James and I'm getting his information, before we even get to the health questions, right before it, there's like a little HIPAA form that they'll text James. I'll text him and he'll say, hey, do we have permission to take a snapshot of your background, basically? And he'll say yes. Boom. It's that quick. Within like 2 minutes, if they let me move forward with the health questions, that means they're going to qualify for the policy 95% of the time. If it doesn't allow me to move forward, that means that quick snapshot found something to the point where they're not going to qualify for underwriting. The difference is literally 5 minutes and 12 weeks. So in the case that James just brought up, I dig a little bit. So again, I'm picking on James, but if I'm talking to James and I'm getting his information, let's say he wants 50,000, let's say he wants 150,000, I'm going to dig a little bit. I'm going to say, hey, are you taking any medications? Like today, I was helping a lady with something. And I said, are you have any health are you having any health problems? And she says, not really. And I said, well, what does that mean? She said, well, I had like a slight heart murmur for the last 5 years. And I said, well, are you taking medication? I'm not taking medication, but that would be in her medical records. And that would probably most likely show up as a heart condition. So in a case like that, what James just said makes sense, and it's up to you guys. That's why the more you learn about this stuff, the situations might help you out. So let's say in that case, and again, I just heard back from her. I'm following up with her tomorrow. So if we write her on a simplified issue policy by taking a snapshot of her pharmaceutical and health, let's say she doesn't get qualified. Well, if she doesn't get qualified with that, she definitely wouldn't have got qualified with underwriting, at least from my experience. If she does get issued, I might do exactly what James said. I might say, well, if you want to, if you have patience over the next 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks, we could do a fully underwritten policy. You might save 25% on the premium for the same exact amount. But the difference is we're not sure what's going to happen there. We know today it's going to be level with this. So little things like that, the more you kind of get to know them, works out really good. Another thing with back nine, you don't have to worry about being appointed by every carrier under the sun because they got probably, I don't know, 8 dozen. So if I'm going to write somebody on a policy, and let's say it's with TransUnion or I don't know, whoever, Pacific, the big whale, or any of those companies, and I'm not appointed with them. It doesn't matter because it's just in time contracting. So as you submit the policy, by the time there's an answer and underwriting, you'll be appointed by that company. They actually do the contracting and stuff with you. So there's a lot of advantages with back nine. So let's talk a little bit about the other side, like the way I am. I am and of course, full disclosure with you guys, because of that convenience, back nine, you have North American, and then you have the back nine, and then you have the carrier, and then you have you. So everybody's getting their piece. That's just how it works with your commission. So if you go through back nine, it might give you a lot more options under one roof, but you're also sacrificing a little bit of your commission. So for me, and I'm not telling anybody to do it this way, for me, what I've done is I'm direct appointed with Mutual America Gerber. Why? Because my commission difference, first of all, they're instant decision. And secondly, my commission difference is probably 10 points. And some people don't care about that. They say, well, it's just convenient being back nine, fully, and it's as earned too, by the way. There's no advances if you go through back nine. It doesn't matter what carrier. If you go direct with some of the ones I just said, I'll set you up with my program where we get you 6 months advance. We can get you street level commission. And since James opened his can of worms, I mean, I might as well just be flat out with all you guys what to expect. Life insurance, great product year round, great commission, advance, all that stuff. It just depends what situation and what scenario you want to be in. So that's kind of, did that answer your question, James?
Yeah, very, very good, Kevin. Thank you. And I guess I'd like to hear your opinion about what seems fair to me if I have somebody who's going to trust me to get with that scenario of doing simplified issue and paying more for a year is what I would think would be appropriate, because we don't want to do it even if we uh, put them through underwriting and get them a cheaper policy, we're going to get a chargeback on that first one. So is a year kind of what you would think would be? I realize different situations could warrant different things, but it seems like
So,
that would be the logical thing to do.
yeah, so you also got to look at that as well. So with back nine as earned, absolutely nothing wrong with that. The way as earned is, what that means is when you get your commission, let's say you will make easy math for everything. Let's say it's I don't know, it's $100 a month and it's 100% commission. Okay, so that'd be $1,200 per year commission, annualized commission. If you go as earned, which some people like that because there's really no risk, that means you get a 12th of that every single month throughout the year. So it'd be $100 a month every month. If the person decides in the second or third month they don't want it anymore, you don't have to worry about chargebacks because you get paid as earned. If you get advance, then in our case, it would be 6 months advance. So you get $600 up front. And then starting on the seventh month, you get the seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. I really like that. And I'll tell you why. I like that little bit of a bump. But in my mind, I write quality insurance. There's never an if in my mind that it's going to be a chargeback. Have I had chargebacks? Of course. I can't remember the last one, to be honest with you. However, I would never bring up the 10-day free look period or anything like that. When you sell someone a policy, especially at the close, you want to close and solidify, solidify, and solidify. For instance, if I'm selling James and it's $150 a month, we get to the end and we're about to set up the payment information for his bank draft. I'm going to say, James, so this policy, $50,000 whole life level, that means day one, if you pass away, whoever your beneficiary gets a $50,000 check in their hand, tax free, to do whatever they want. You understand that, right? Yes. It's $150 every month. The face value and the premium are locked in. A lot of advantages there. It's guaranteeing your insurability. What does that mean? That means next week, if you have a heart attack or something happens, you don't need to worry about that. And then I joke around, well, of course you need to worry about it, but you don't need to worry about being insured anymore because we're taking care of that today. Okay. So you're locked in and you don't have to ever worry about getting coverage after that because we're locking it in today. So you got a locked in premium. It's not like those commercials where if you redefined print, they're less expensive at first, but they might change every 5 years, like the famous AARP one, that's New York Life. If you ever read the small print, not only does it change every 5 years, it stops at age 80, all those little things. So we're locking all that in today, but you got to remember, James, it's $150 every single month in your budget. I look at it as an investment, not an expense, but is that going to be affordable every single month? And they're going to say, well, yes or no, or all. If it's other than a positive yes, you got to come out. Why don't we do this then? Are you on a fixed income? Yes. Is $150 a month going to be tough for that? Well, it might be. Well, why don't we just go ahead and start with something lower, make it more affordable so you know you can keep it. And if that feels good, then we can add on later on. So it's little things like that when you're closing and reclosing. But I do all that over and over and over again before I get their bank information because you're giving it to them and you're taking it away. But you're also thinking in your mind, I'm about to get a good 6-month commission, and 3 months from now, I don't want to be caught off guard when all of a sudden I get 3 months charge back. That's not what you want. So, and another neat thing is like yesterday, or not yesterday, Friday, I got a $930 deposit from Mutual of Omaha. And I hadn't sold a Mutual of Omaha policy in at least 2 weeks. So when I went back and looked at it, these were people that not only am I getting renewals on for the last couple of years, but a couple of them, the 7th, 8th, 9th month are all starting. So they all start to stack on each other. So if I'm writing a couple of months to get the boost, and then as time goes on, they all start adding up. That's what I like about it. That's my income stream, that and Medicare renewals that I know is there all the time. And as I build on both of those together, you can start adding other stuff. People will start asking you, well, do you guys have cancer coverage? Do you guys have, dental insurance? I sell a lot of that, whatever. But that start of your clients, whether it's Medicare or whoever else, they all start to work together. If it's health insurance, which I also do, you got to keep track. Well, I'm going to call a guy today, actually. He turns 65 in September. He's a health client. So I'm going to call him today, and I'm going to make sure he knows about the lock-in period. So I'm going to talk to him about Medicare, and then I'm also going to bring up final expense. So they can all start working together as time goes on. Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot that back nine is as earned. And I'm like you, I need the bump, I need the cash flow. And I think when the cash flow is consistent, I might like to actually just do as earned or use back nine more. So I'm probably not going to use back nine as a rule, but I sure like the system and the automation and all the thing that it does, especially for underwriting. I've seen part of that work. It actually is quite amazing. But I'm like you. I'm going to go direct mainly. That's going to be my focus.
So James, you and me a couple of weeks ago, and if I remember this the wrong way, call me out on it. We went through America together, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So reason I bring that up, guys, I'm always available for one-on-one training. So whether it's back nine and you learn their site, so you pretty much, once you learn their site, it applies to pretty much every carrier on there, or you go to Mutual of Omaha or America or Gerber. I'll walk you through all those sites. And the great thing about that is they're all user friendly. And believe me, if I can say that, that means they are. You can get easy quotes. You can get illustrations. It's the training and the product knowledge. I walked James through that, and the comment he kept making, with Americo, it's called Agent Cafe, is this is awesome. It's user friendly, and believe me, I don't know how tech savvy he is, but if I can say that and I agree with him, it is. The easier, the better, the quicker, and the more efficient for me. Because if I have people on the phone I'm talking to, I can have Americo and I can have Mutual of Omaha on both my screens and I can pull them up. Let me give you a great example of that. It's what I wanted to bring up today. Americo has got a 3 years non-smoking rider on their final expense. I'm calling a lady back today. She's 76 years old and she's a smoker. I could tell that by talking to her. She wants $10,000. So I looked at Mutual of Omaha for $10,000 and I looked at Americo $10,000. Mutual, I had to look for the smoker rate. Americo gives you a 3 year, whether they smoke or not, non-smoker rate. So she's got 3 years once we lock in her premium to hopefully quit smoking. That's kind of their hope, that a person will say, well, you know what? Smoking's bad. I need to quit. They give me 3 years. At the end of 3 years, if the person doesn't quit smoking, they don't lose the coverage. They either get less coverage for the same premium or the same coverage for more premium, and they can continue to smoke. But that is a big, big deal, in my opinion, knowing we have carriers that will give a non-smoker rate, not for 6 months or 12 months, for a full 3 years. That is a big, big deal with a person's budget, because some of them are $30 to $50 more for a smoker rate than a non-smoker rate. So, guys, that's one of the big advantages we have with these quality carriers. I'm going to just give Americo a couple quick accolades. They have return of premium on some of their products, 50% and 100%, not just one or the other. You can get what they call continuation. You can get a simplified issue term policy. At the end of the term, you can get it either anywhere from 10 to 25% continuation of the original face value for the rest of your life. So you're getting part term rate and you're locking in a permanent as well. So anything you guys want to train on going forward, today was really an introduction to all the different things we do. We can do any of those things. We can pick one carrier each week. I'm a big Mutual of Omaha fan. Reason being is not only can you write final expense, not only can you write simplified issue life insurance, they have a nice fully underwritten life insurance, but you can also do disability, long-term care, Medicare supplements. So with these few carriers that I'm mentioning, I mean, there's pretty much nothing that we could offer a client that they don't have under one of the carriers. And then you got Gerber. That's my guarantee issue. If I'm talking to someone that doesn't qualify based on health or anything, I'm going to say, well, here's a Gerber. There are literally no health questions. You pick 5 to 25,000, your guarantee issue. It's a whole life policy. After 2 years, you're covered 100%. Everything's locked in. So there is no way anymore we have to say, I can't help you. We can help anybody with any situation. It doesn't matter. So, and that's a lot, I know. But any other questions, anything? I'm going to give you guys my contact information, and I would encourage you, if you have questions, if you're not appointed yet with North American, with at least Americo, Mutual, Gerber, and then if you want to add one on, it opens a big umbrella. You can go ahead and do back 9 as well. If you have those 4, there's nothing that a person would ever ask you that has anything to do with life insurance that you would be able to offer them something. Key man insurance, doesn't matter what it is. And we have excellent trainers and we have excellent reps with these carriers that can help you guys. So everybody grab a pen. Or I could put it in the chat box, doesn't matter, which I probably will anyway. I'm going to give you guys my contact information. By the way, if I didn't introduce myself properly, I'm Kevin Mister, like you said. I'm one of the vice presidents of sales here at North American. And And we really got the life insurance over the last 4 years going in a really great direction. And I think people are finally starting to realize that there are no seasonal sales for life insurance. It's a year-round thing, and that not only can be an extra stream of income. There's different sites you can go to. And that's all they do is write life insurance. That's all they write. They don't write anything else. So here's my name and number. It's Kevin Ristau, Ristau. My contact number is 214-952-6339. And then, of course, my email address is Kevin, KVIN at, well, we can do our North American one, but I'll give you my other one as well. It's Kevin at Ristau Insurance, Ristau insurance.com. And if you guys want to call me, if I don't answer, I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Or you can email me. I would encourage you, if you haven't been writing life insurance, if you're procrastinating like I did forever, guys, you got to jump right into it. You got to make a prospect list. You got to determine, who can everybody literally has nothing to do with recruiting friends or family. Some of the biggest life insurance policies you'll ever write is your circle of influence, your family and friends. Every single person needs life insurance. They have houses to pay for. They're raising kids. They have bills that if they have dual incomes, all of a sudden one of them wasn't there. The other person is going to have to somehow offset that till they figure it out. That's what life insurance does. We have children's life insurance, college funds. I mean, there's so many things. So,
what's your email?
Yes, I'm going to put it in there right now. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so in the chat box, I put my email address and I put my phone number. And again, it's Kevin Ristau. I am in the great state of Texas. I know we have some people here from Idaho and many other states. So, guys, it doesn't matter where you're from. That's another great thing. No place is better than any place else for life insurance. I mean, it may be for ACA health insurance. It may even be for Medicare. I do all that stuff. I'm licensed in 32 states. Different areas offer different things. Life insurance is different than all those things. You can offer life insurance anywhere. That's the great thing about it. Any time of the year, any age, anything. So if we haven't personally met, shoot me an email. I will definitely take time to touch base with you guys, because our goal is to have you guys have life insurance as a permanent part of your plan going forward, your blueprint for success, so to say. And then, of course, when you're coming up with your plan, and I'll leave you guys with this, if you haven't figured out a plan, that's what you need to do. Just take a few minutes. It doesn't have to take forever, but what is your plan? I mean, how much money do you want to make selling life insurance? Who do you plan on prospecting? How do you plan on prospecting them? What's your sources? Is it social media? Is it networking? Is it whatever? I can help you guys with all that stuff if you want to shoot me an email or give me a call. So next week, what I'll do is, or not next week, the next call, which is 2 weeks from today, unless I have a request from someone to go over something specific, we'll just kind of go over what final expense is, and then I'll pull up maybe Americo or a Mutual of Omaha, and I'll show you how to quote it on them, and then we can do that 1 week at a time. I would encourage you guys between now and then, talk to some people. Get some people lined up for life insurance quotes. That's where it starts. Don't even act, if you don't feel like you're an expert or you can tell the right stuff, don't worry about it. Just collect the most basic information, their date of birth, their health condition, or height, weight, smoker, non-smoker. If you have that stuff, we can get a really good option for them, and give me a call and I'll help you walk through what the quotes are. So, guys, I appreciate your time. We've already been on almost 45 minutes. I encourage you guys to give me a call, give me an email. I appreciate everyone being on today. And let's all get some good news between now and the next time. Shoot me an email, give me a call. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Cheers.
Good one.
For some reason, my chat won't open up.
It doesn't, did it?
Mine didn't open. It keeps going around in a circle. So is your number 214-952-6339?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe
Okay.
refresh or maybe, yeah, or you can just give me a call and
I'll
I
call
can
you.
give you whatever information. Okay, give me a call.
Okay.
So, okay,
Thank you.
everybody have a great day. All right, you guys take care.